Society, man, wants you to believe that being alone and by yourself is an evil thing and a bad thing. The reality is, guys, it's not. Being alone is the key to being with someone else. The key. To be with someone else, you must first be able to be with yourself. And see, I have seen it, man, so many times. Let's say you're a person who has been alone in various periods of your life. And society's like, oh, you need friends, or even your family tell you that, guys. You need to have these friendships, you need to have this present in your life. Because if not, you're so different. And we're humans, of course. We want to fit into society. We don't want to be completely different and dispersed from the pack. The thing is, in that period of aloneness, that's when you know who you are. Let's say you have an idea of who you are now, but that idea is based off of your time with others. I thought I was one way before, and then I got to sit down with myself and understand fully who it is that I am. And it was completely contrary to what I had thought from all of my time with other people that I had spent, and I was able gratefully to share with other people. The thing is, this is one of the greatest blessings that you will have. Because if you're even doing things a fraction correctly, this alone period is temporary. You are going to have time with family, with significant others, with other people presented into your life. This period in reality is, it's a slow period. I guess it can seem meager, but in the grand scheme of your life, your alone period is one of the smallest. And if you have siblings, it's even smaller. So the cheat code, let's say, as much as I don't really like that term, but let's say the quickest and best way to get to the dream life that you would like to is by being alone. It is by understanding who is it that I am really. And I don't have that opportunity unless I am by myself. All of the answers to get you to where you want to go are in those periods that you are alone, when no one is around you, and all of your psychological troubles and problems are there and they're present, and you cannot run to TikTok. You cannot get any outside stimuli to relieve this. You are there. You're there because this is a big problem, guys, that I see, right? We see this kind of segues into it with divorce in the world currently. I was going to say the US, but it's in the world too, just not as much there. The thing is, with the divorce rate, man, being at 50% in the US at least, you sit there and ask yourself, okay, what is it? What are the reasons, right? And sure, there are financial reasons, definitely that plays a part. However, a big reason is just this connection that you have with another person isn't really a healthy one. I don't know about you all, but let's take a moment and just be honest here. Have you seen more relationships that are healthy, that you would say, or toxic? I have to be honest. Maybe they're not toxic deemed directly toxic in a way. But from what I see, I don't really see relationships that are as beneficial to both parties. It's always one person, let's say, is gaining and the other person is in pain. It's not a mutualistic relationship. It's one party taking from another in a way. It's not as pure as you would hope. And this isn't to say that every relationship needs to be the same way, because they don't. Because we are all individuals and we are all different people. However, what we can say is it should be to the benefit of both people involved. Both people involved should genuinely cherish that. And why do these problems present? And how is this related? Because the thing is, these problems arise themselves due to the lack of time of being alone and truly having the opportunity to grasp these issues before you are with someone else. You cannot avoid something your whole life and then, oh, when I'm with my partner, it'll cure everything. No, there's a lot of things that will change and will improve, of course. And then there's things that won't, and you'll see them and they'll be there. And I'm sure you can choose to run from them, which is what unfortunately people do. The thing is, it's going to manifest itself in some way. In psychology, there's, let's say, a term and a reference. In reality, it's more of a reference. When a person is speaking about an issue that is being presented in their relationship. Oh, you always do this with this person. It's always you. You always say this. Typically, the thing that is being spoken on is not the thing that is actually the problem. The problem is of disconnection. And that disconnection comes from obviously not being aligned. And not being aligned comes from the fact that you have traumas that are unresolved and unoriented in a manner that is conducive to you growing and in being in a relationship with someone for a prolonged period. That's the thing here. I don't want you to be alone just to be alone. Of course, if you can be happy alone, you can be happy with someone else, and it will only kind of add into that feeling when you're with another person. The thing is, if you cannot be alone, it's tough to be truly with someone. Because how can they be with you? Let's say for a period, right? But how could someone else be with someone that cannot be with themselves? Let's just say like you, friend. So you want to tell me you're with, let's say, a partner, and this partner is not able to be with themselves. And you think, if they can't be with themselves, why would I want to be with them? Or how would I be with them? They can't even be with themselves, and I'm supposed to be with them. And that's the key, man. The key is enjoying and embracing the alone period, because in the alone period, all of the traumas and things that need to be resolved will be presented. In my case, I'm, let's say, in an alone period myself. And the thing is, I had done work and, ample work, but there were things that I wasn't even aware of that were being brought into my awareness and being shown to me as, hey, before you are intertwined with someone else in the same path, in the same life, you need to resolve these things. And I was like, oh man, this was tough. And you grow so much. Because if that's what you want, let's say, if you aspire to be with someone and you aspire to get married, as I do, then you need to be able to be the one that can lead your marriage. And so to do that, you need to be the one that can be with yourself. I wouldn't want to be with someone who couldn't be with themselves. because then it puts you into this toxic dynamic where you're the one that's the reassurance, you're the validation, and that's not the point. The point here is not to be a tool that can be used. We both gain, your partner and yourself gain from each other. That's 100% certain. The goal isn't to be so dependent to that extent because it's becoming toxic. Because at that point, you're not just regulating yourself, you're regulating another person to an extreme extent that each person should be able to regulate themselves to a minimum. So that's extremely important, man. Extremely important. So the shift here, internally, the shift has to be from looking at being alone as a bad thing to looking at being alone as a blessing, which it is. All the answers are going to come here. All of the things that are going to put you on the path to your own success and your own dream life are in this period as well. All of them. And so you may say, why is this important? Well, it's for that. It's important because I want you to come out of the alone period and not have to do it all of the time in your life. There's periods, and being alone is very pleasant. If you enjoy being alone, it will be pleasant. I love being alone. And I will also love being with my partner when that's the time. The thing is, I want you to have this period, and then when you're out of it, okay, you're ready for union. You're ready for the next stage. I don't want you to keep repeating patterns, because what was the point of the lesson? The point of the lesson is to give you the knowledge that's, let's say, requisite for you to go into the next stage. You needed that knowledge and you needed that lesson. And the lesson can only become knowledge if it's used. Otherwise, it's just information. So, lock that in, man. There's nothing better. I have to be honest. In my 23 years of life up until this point, there has been nothing better than knowing you can enjoy time alone. And, for example, walking down the street and just laughing and smiling, being happy. And in your room, just being happy, enjoying your time with yourself, not needing any music, anything, just being there and enjoying it. There's nothing quite like that feeling. There's always going to be dopamine, but dopamine runs out. And that feeling of enjoying aloneness and solitude doesn't run out, man. It doesn't. Even when tribulation presents itself, which it will, especially in the alone period, guys, it will. Because you will need to face those things in order to be prepared for the next stage and the next level. You will need to. The thing is, that's where the growth is directly. The growth lies directly in facing the things that need to be faced. The growth lies directly in this. It lies in facing the things that you don't want to face, especially when you don't want to face them. And they may bring out pain and all these things in you in your life, and you may be scared to really engage them. The thing is, they will always be there until you face them. Expose them. We call that in psychology exposure theory and therapy. Face it head on. Enjoy it. And enjoy it in the sense that it's aiding you, man, towards what you want to be. My idea of what you want to be doesn't really matter. It's null and void. Yours is what matters, of yourself, because you will be with yourself 24/7. The thing is, even when you're married, friend, even when you're married, you'll wake up and it will just be you. It will not be another person there in you, in your mind. Of course, you'll have your partner, but it will be you within your mind. No one else there. And so you'll wake up by yourself and you go to bed, sure, you're sleeping with someone, but you're in your mind, you're in your body. It's always you. Even in your work, when you're with people, it's you. You're within yourself. And if there's one common denominator, in your life, out of all the experiences that you have ever had, it's yourself. There's not another. So why not bask in that and enjoy that and build the relationship with yourself that you would like to have with someone else? You know, the way that you treat your closest friend or that you treat your dog, for example. This was something that was just shocking to see. People, when their dog is sick, have a 99% chance of taking care of their dog with the pills, making sure they take the pills. And with humans, it's 50%. So humans even love their dogs more than they love themselves. And that's going to be an issue, man. In a deep, prolonged relationship, that love that you don't have is going to present itself. And especially with partners, and especially women. How can we expect a lady to love you or to love us when we don't love ourselves? How could we possibly expect that? And vice versa. If you're a lady, how could a man love you if you don't love yourself? It's somewhat different because men are more visual, but for a prolonged relationship, it's going to be the same outcome and the same thing there. That's supremely important to be focused on. Being alone is the key. If you feel alone and you have people telling you, hey, you need to have friends in this, awesome, because you're an outlier. And at the end of the day, it goes like this. If you want to have the things that the majority of people don't have, you cannot do what the majority of people do. In theory, in definition, everything. That's what it comes down to. If you want to have exceptional things, you have to do exceptional things. If you want an exceptional life, you need to have an exceptional life. And part of having an exceptional life is by being the exception. And being the exception is doing the things that the majority are not. It is by standing out. When people are telling you things, oh, hey, you're doing this, you're so different, why don't you come and hang out with us? Or this, or people saying things about you that are uncalled for or rude, whatever it may be, insults, snarky things, backhanded compliments and comments, all of those things. Now, unless you are going out of your way to be some terrible person to people, that's an indicator that you are on the right path. And let's say you grind every day and you're meeting friends and people, but then you see, man, we don't really have much in common. They have different goals than myself. I like to grind on my purpose and the things that really matter to me. And they like to party and do these things, which power to them if that's what brings them fulfillment. But that doesn't bring you fulfillment. So you're like, man, I have friends, but they're kind of surface level, not any real friendships. I don't have friends that I can call at my darkest period and most difficult period, and they will listen to me and encourage me. Let's say you don't have those, and that's totally fine because you're in this stage that I actually heard referenced by Alex Hormozy, and I saw it play in my own life where you are, let's say, slightly above, and you've outgrown some of your old friendships and counterparts. The thing is, for the new friendships, you haven't done the requisite work to be there yet, so you're in the gray area. And the gray area is a beautiful place because the gray area is what will form you and shape you into either going to the black or the white. You need to go through the gray. You need to cultivate that inner fortitude and that inner strength. You need to be the person that enjoys being alone, not lonely. Lonely is feeling badly in the absence of others. I don't want anyone here to be feeling lonely. And actually take that word lonely out of your mind, because lonely has a negative connotation. Lonely refers that you need other people around you. No, you don't. What you need is to enjoy your time with yourself. Everything else will come into place, guys. Know this. This ultimately is the vehicle that is going to get you into enjoying your time with other people more. The fact that you are able to do it with yourself so exceptionally, that is going to aid you in this chapter of your life and in all of your future endeavors. So enjoy this time, make the most of it, and know that you are on the right path.